Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Wednesday. So yesterday was really bad day, but we also had a backlog of a video. We don't even know when it was from. I think like last week. So that we kind of threw that one in there. It was like a Friday video that we just forgot to post. So yeah, sorry for the confusion because there's two videos yesterday, but actually yesterday was the one with the really low amount of sales. All right, but this was a good day. All right, first up is going to be this Airfix Modern German Infantry little kit here. This one was interesting to me. It was incomplete, or I actually counted up the pieces. I put like the percentage, so I put 82% complete. This one I thought was going to be little miniatures, but they're, I think, 32 scale, so it's going to be these ones. They kind of look like regular size Army Men toys, but these have more details than like the ones you would get in those baggies like I would get when I was a kid. So I just thought that was interesting. We haven't really sold Airfix figures on this size. I didn't know that they existed, so this was like a first for me. This sold for $18.74 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping, so it'll save us the time right now. All right, next up is going to be this lot of 30 WizKids Marvel and DC. I think these are just commons and uncommons. I don't see any rares or anything, so yeah, there's no cards with these. The cards show like what abilities they have, but you can memorize them or just look them up on the website, or people will use these for like RPGs or other things where you use little superhero figures. This sold for $8.44. I usually get more for the lots, but I get more when there's better characters in the lots and when they have the cards, and maybe when they have like rares. Sometimes I add rares. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 2 comics. I think these were my personal, yeah, these were actually my personal comics. I had a brief period where I was into comic books. I read Y the Last Man. That's what got me into comics, and I started reading some other stuff. I ended up having like a 40 or 50 comic book collection. So these are X-Men First Class. This is the, I think, trade paperback. I'm going to say like part 1 and part 2. I was just trying to read into it. This was also when I was playing HeroClix. These aren't super expensive, so they ended up selling for $10. But yeah, this was actually something from my personal collection. I don't even remember them. I like reading them. All right, next up is going to be this right here, TSR. This is like a 1980s Waterdeep map. I don't actually want to take it out just because I don't want it to be like too frail or something. But yeah, it's like an important city within the realm of Dungeons and Dragons. This one only sold for $10, but I got a bunch of those maps a bit ago, and people do like displaying them. And they're cool pieces of history. It's from the 1980s. All right, next up is going to be Sentinel Tactics board game promo pack of cards. So the reason why I think I've never played this game. So Sentinel Tactics, I think, is a tactic game where you're playing on like hexes. I know them for their deck building game where it's a co-op game where you're fighting super villains and then you pick a hero and you build up your deck. So I always knew Sentinel Tactics was like their side game. This is a promo pack. This was by a company Greater Than Games, I think, and they announced that they are going to be going out of business. I think in the past week or two, there's been a couple of board game companies among like the tariffs and other stuff that have been hitting these companies. There's also like a whole drama with the whole Kickstarter world with a lot of these board games. So it gets pretty in depth. There's tons of videos out there for other people talking about it. But I think that's why this particular thing sold, because this company is going out of business, so people are going to want to pick up the games. It is a well-known game, Sentinel Tactics, Sentinels of the Multiverse, and they also made Spirit Island, which is a really good game. So yeah, someone wants to grab this stuff before they can't get it anymore. It gets more expensive. This pack sold for $10. All right, I had a note that I spent $1 on auction for it. I don't even remember that particular one. All right, moving along. We have a combo order. I got a bunch of these Advanced Squad Leader map boards, these like cardboard ones. They also have like cardstock ones. Apparently they have different like remastered editions. I was unaware of this until the person messaged. So they got a lot of 3. They have their numbers up here, 9, 10, and 11. So that was 9, 10, 11. This one they got was 9 and 10. And then this one was just an individual 9 right here. So they paid at different times. One lot, the lot of 3, they spent 28, a lot of 2, 18, and then the individual one, they spent 10. But yeah, they told me that they liked how I listed the older ones, and then they liked how it was like the remastered with better art. I wasn't even aware that that was the thing. I've never played Advanced Squad Leader. It's like military games where you have these little chit tokens. They go on these hexes. You make a map. You play scenarios. You do wars and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I have more of this stuff, so I will list it. They said that they might buy more. They just want to see them in person, and then they will see, they're going to categorize like how many boards they need or what they have at that point. So yeah, they thanked me for listing that. And I thought it was useful for me because they told me that they were like older remastered versions or something like that. The last thing I know about these is someone told me that the earlier the number up here in these hex boards, the more common they are. So like 1 through 10 was more available in like base sets or base board games or something like that. So the higher the number, I think that someone claimed that it's more rare and probably more expensive. But I haven't checked up on that person saying that. That's just what someone told me. All right, enough about that. Next up is going to be this thing, which I've never gotten before. This is a box of 65 plus. It was a bunch of these little model ship pieces. It was called Model Shipways was the company. So it's really hard to show, but yeah, they were in like these little baggies right here. There's like chains. Here's like a ship base right here. There's like God, what do they call it? Like the steering wheel of the ship. I can't think of it. I should know what it is. I'm just drawing a blank right now. Little pieces. So yeah, all these like pieces to craft model kits, which are specifically like naval ships right here. Did I drop something? I dropped something, or is that the cat? All right, this ended up selling for $42. I'll double check later to make sure I didn't drop anything. Maybe went through the cracks. All right, sorry. $42 for that is pretty good. That's the first time I got the, what was it called again? Shipways model stuff. So I will keep an eye out for that. All right, next up is the Lost Lands, the Northlands map right here. This one's pretty cool. It's an RPG map. I think it's by a company called Green Ronin. I'm taking a guess there. This one's laminated, so someone took care of it. So, which is really cool, because then like if drinks spill on it, you can clean it up and you can use dry erase markers. So there's a bunch of like little hexes here. So a dungeon master is probably going to use that as like an overland map showing where the party is. Sold for $13.79. I like to pick up the laminated posters. They are kind of like a pain to list in store because they're kind of big and unwieldy, but I still like to do it. All right, next up is going to be this Red Doom RPG book right here. This is going to be, I think it's called like the Champions, like the superhero RPG little game you can play. So this is just one of the books. It's probably just has a bunch of little scenarios to play. This one is like you're battling Russians right there. This one sold for $10.50. I had another one, so I relisted it with different pictures at the storage unit because I just want to show like if there's a little mark on the corner or something, I want the customer to get what I have, if that makes sense. Sometimes people really care about all the little damages, little nicks. In general, it doesn't matter. Like most people just want to use the book, right? They just want to make sure it doesn't have like mold and stuff or dry liquid damage. All right, next up is going to be a lot of this. There's two. It was Mobile Command Center and High Speed Chase. These are like Lego kits. There's all the little booklets in there. I got a bunch of incomplete Lego sets. They were barely incomplete. Most of them were missing like 2 to 5 pieces. At some points when I built a bunch of them and realized only a couple pieces were missing, any future ones, I just wrote incomplete, and in the description I said I don't know how many pieces are missing. So I would take a good picture of everything. I would use as many pictures as possible. So this is basically barely incomplete. So the person will probably be happy when they get it, realizing it's not as incomplete as like my title says. I just want to be better safe than sorry. $22.49 for the Lego City stuff, people like that. All right, and then last up for the day is going to be these GHQ little miniature warships right here. I don't know what particular ship it is. I got a bunch of these things. I think I did a little video on it when I was going through all those like miniature boxes like a month or two ago. Yeah, these are some of the ships from that. So I just put all of the similar like looking ships together and then put their little like turret pieces that were coming with them. This sold for $22.49. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope everyone's having a good week.